kudos to Ashley Vallejo. I think she's done such a good job of, first and foremost, being able to get ahead with that screwball, and with so many lefties in this Texas A&M lineup, that screwball that kind of bites away from them has been a tough pitch. So she's established the strike zone early with that pitch. Her changeup has been so effective.
One chopped foul.
And I think there has to be this trust of using your defense too. And we've seen some, you know, terrific plays by LSU defensively. And when you just have that confidence as a pitcher where it's like, you know, you're not striking everyone out. We can get ahead, but there's a good chance I'm going to use my defense, going to get some balls to you guys, step up, make good plays for me.
There's one back up the middle, whizzed past the head of Vallejo. Kennedy Powell, leadoff hitter aboard.
This is a good job by Kennedy Powell. She takes this screwball, I think left a little bit too much with that 1-2 count. Need a little bit more movement on that outside part of the plate, but just carries it right back up the middle. Solid leadoff. The first hit in quite some time by Texas A&M.
A runner on for Amari Harper, who struck out twice today. But entering today, Harper hadn't struck out in the previous 13 games. Still hitting .451 on the year, and one of the absolute best hitters this season in all of SEC play. Broke her pointer finger, her left hand, the first week of the season, but has just continued to tough it out and play through it. Just like one of her teammates, Coco Woolley, did a few years ago, played through a broken finger and was one of the best hitters in the conference. How painful is that? How difficult is that?
Yeah, it hurts.
You're just shaking your head.
I mean, you find a way to rally through it. It doesn't mean that it's comfortable. And then on the flip side, I think from the pitcher's perspective of how I'm pitching someone that is dealing with that, I want to go heavy on your hands. I want to.
Oh, they got her. Powell got caught leaning too far. Nice throw from Bergeron.
You saw that first base coach instantly kind of issue to Trish.
As the runner was thrown out at first base for an out, Texas A&M is challenging the call on the field. With their first challenge, this play is under further review.
Well, they do call her the Cajun Cannon. Macy Bergeron has now thrown out 20 base runners in her career, if that stands. Take a look.
You just see the dirt kind of flying up, so it's just hard to see if her hand gets in there. Like, is her hand touching? Because if her hand's touching, the tag's not applied yet. There has to be enough indisputable evidence to overturn the call.
It's very tough to tell from that angle.
That was a heck of a lead. I mean, she was way off the base. I think that the call may stand.
Again, you brought up the point, it has to be conclusive enough to overturn it. Powell had been so good on the bases this year, 15 for 15 in stolen bases. Obviously ultra confident out there, but just a bit too far off the bag. Here we go.
After further review, the ruling on the field has been upheld. The runner's out. That is Texas A&M's first challenge.
Seemed to be the right call, at least from our vantage point.
And an absolute cannon by Bergeron.
So instead of one on, no outs, best part of the order up. Bases empty, one away. That would have been huge. Instead, runner on first with one out. Here comes Maya Perez, has been patient at the plate today. 2 walks and 2 plate appearances. Has now reached in 13 straight games. She has been unstoppable at the plate this year. There's strike 1 from Vallejo.
And a good pitch, down, change, probably not sit and change first pitch.
Quickly the count goes 0-2. A&M getting out hit 5-3, but still up by 2 in the runs column. Perez, whose dad and grandfather played fast pitch softball, so she grew up around the game. Her grandfather was a pitcher, used to throw BP to her. I imagine a lot of whiplash there for Grandpa turning around and seeing those bombs leave the yard. Terrific high school player during her time in Corona, California. For the year, a .453 hitter with runners on. Both these teams hitting well today with the runners on base. 2-2. And we'll do it again.
If I could throw that changeup down, almost get something like down in the dirt, whether it's low away or low in, and sacrifice a pitch and try to see if you can get her chasing. 7th pitch of the at-bat coming. She's clearly seeing it well. And that's good. I think that's one of those you have to tip your cap, right? As a pitcher, hey, I don't want to give you anything too close. You're probably the one hitter in the lineup right now that I don't want to beat me. So I'm going to try to see if I can get you to chase, and she doesn't. And
so after a 3-double game yesterday, it is now a 3-walk performance today for Perez. It's interesting, the Aggies have scored 7 runs, yet the 2 through 8 hitters still don't have a hit today. 8 total walks issued to this Aggies team, including 1 to Mac Barbara back in the 1st inning. All the hits have come from 2 batters, Kennedy Powell and Kramer Eshte, and that is it.
you see a little bit of that closed stance by Mac Barbara, which to me, when she has her front foot closed off the way that she does, it almost seems intimidating to want to throw her in, because not only is like she towing the line, but her hands and everything are over that plate. And obviously you have a screwball pitcher who feels confident to go away, but when I see a hitter that wants to toe the line like that, I still want to have the right to establish the inside part of the zone. I want to test you, I want to come in. That's how I loved to approach hitters, whether or not she's looking for that, right? She takes another pitch on the outside part of the plate, which to me shows that she's looking for something in, which now potentially changes up her game plan a little bit of having to swing at something away.
Hooks one foul.
And that's something Coach Trish Ford had the conversation with her about. She said, for how routine-oriented and plan of attack you are, you're swinging outside of your plan. And when you do that, you're not an elite hitter like you know that you could be. And that's one thing she's done over the course of the last couple weeks, really stuck to her guns and her plan.
Barbara to left center, that's gonna drop in. Runner rounding third, the throw home, bobbled, and A&M extends their lead. The Aggies back up by 3. career RBI number 201 for Mac Barbara.
And this is a pitch that's elevated. It's just over the heart of the plate. She kind of just finds some green right in that Bermuda Triangle. And I wanted this throw to be more on the money. If this throw is on the money, she's dead out at home. I really think that she is, but at times there's a lot of things that need to go right with the throw to make it to home on the money. And another run for Texas A&M. Feels like an eternity ago when they scored.
First run since the first inning. We'll have a pinch runner taken over at second base, Kelsey Mathis. Pinch runners all around for the Aggies at first and second. And Allie Enright, 2 up at least for now, but we may have it will be Enright coming up. Walked in her first plate appearance, and the Aggies, if Powell wouldn't have gotten thrown out leading off of first.
I know. Those are always the things you think about.
And by the way, this is all being done without Coco Woolley in the lineup. Senior shortstop getting the day off today.
I was definitely surprised not seeing her in the lineup, for sure. Kind of giving me Mac Barbara situations for the Auburn series where maybe her numbers weren't aligning with.
Enright skies one. Leno backing up. Drifts back to the track to make the grab. Runner tags both. 2 in scoring position now with 2 away.
And sometimes it just takes not getting that start where it hits you a little bit differently, and it probably doesn't feel good. And it's not that you need to go do more work or this or that, but I think sometimes, I don't know, it just gives you this different perspective.
And Tricia Ford not afraid to make a move, that's for sure. There's the freshman KK Dement. Walked in the first. Over to third. Coffee is there. And we will talk to Beth Torina coming up after the break. Her team down by 3 now.
Oh. When I think about this LSU team as a whole, I mean, to me, and I said this when I was down there, I was like, to me, this team is a team that needs to get to the Women's College World Series. Like, offensively, you have that leadership, and they had the leadership last year with Taylor Pleasance. But I think you think about when you take away Danica Coffey from that team last year and potentially the year that Tori Edwards could have had, those are 2 key components that maybe could have got him over the hump in that Sanford Super Regional against Nyjah Kennedy. But what did you learn as a team last year going through that? And is this potentially a team with some of these incoming transfers and the Smash sisters, like, can this team get them back to Oklahoma City? It's been a while. 2018, I think, was the last time that LSU's been there. And every year they put out such good teams where you're like, man, I think this could be the year. But for some reason, I feel that this could be the year that maybe they get back.
The talent is certainly there. They've been there 4 times under Beth Torina. Again, they entered the series top 6 in the country in batting average and ERA. Jayla Lassiter earning a leadoff walk.
And like I said to you earlier, all the issues that happened in the first inning are all things that can be fixed. It's not like these pitchers are throwing good quality pitches and they're getting whomped around the ballpark. This is just, hey, you have to figure this out and throw good quality pitches. We cannot issue that many walks. We know this. Like, this is pretty obvious in the game. And I also think this weekend and these next couple weeks are a good test for Sydney Berzon and to kind of see where she's at. And this team's going to learn a lot with just really getting down to the nitty-gritty of how tough these next couple weeks are going to be. That the postseason may not feel any harder than the gauntlet that's coming their way.
This next week may be harder than the postseason. In 8 days, you're facing the #1 and #3 teams in the nation 6 times.
Yes.
you're going to find out a lot about yourselves over this next stretch.
And then playing Florida and having, you know, Keegan Rothrock back in the circle, knowing that their ace is back. And that was something last weekend when I had Texas, Missouri. Mike White made the comment. He said, there's not a whole lot better than playing in the SEC. We're going to have seen everything.
It is unreal as this one poked in between third and short, and the Tigers will bring up the tying run after a walk and now a single to start off the 5th inning.
This is just change up that you clearly see Bergeron just not fooled by whatsoever. Pulls it right through the 5-6 hole.
This is exactly who LSU wants up. Tori Edwards, one of the best freshmen in the nation, hit her 4th grand slam of the year in the 3rd inning. And with that hit, broke the freshman single season RBI record at LSU, now with 61 on the year and looking for more, again representing the tying run.
And probably the one hitter in this lineup that you don't want to beat you again for the 2nd time. We saw her go yard, her last at bat, 15th home run of the season.
Almost went guard a couple times last night, hit one off the wall and another to deep center. Beth Torina's called her the best freshman in the country. Taylor Shoemaker of Florida obviously in that conversation, but in SEC play, Edwards' numbers currently dwarf those of Shoemaker's. That one gets past the catcher Johnson, and there are now 2 in scoring position for the Tigers.
I don't know if there was a cross-up of what pitch was coming their way, but Coach Trish Ford going to come out and have a conversation.
A wild pitch by Lessentine. Still no outs in this inning. I mean, A&M had all the momentum through the first 2 innings plus of this ball game. And it just feels like LSU continues to chip away. They got within 2, A&M extended their lead. Tigers coming right back in this inning.
Well, and assistant coach, Coach Neal for LSU, just spot on with the offensive piece and being able to hold them accountable. Like even hearing her say, like, hey, he continues to let it be known, you're not hitting a 7-run home run after the first inning. Like, it's work in the process of figuring out how to chip away and get back in, using momentum.
Another wild pitch. The runners retreat to their bases and do get back in time. What are you seeing out of Lessentine right now?
I'm seeing that this would potentially be more of a situation where I would think about bringing somebody else in depending on how this AB goes.
One more ball loads the bases. And that one gets away from Johnson. Here comes Lassiter, and it's back to a 2-run game.
I mean, that was like an unintentional, intentional walk, right? Like there was nothing that was close whatsoever. Whether or not that was the plan of attack, you have to know that she's not going to beat you, but I just feel like this has to be caught by Olivia Johnson. Yeah, it's a pitch that's way out, but I still expect her to kind of know that that is the path that we're going on. If I'm throwing a curveball, they're going to be bringing in Emily Kennedy.
Things are about to get real interesting with the ace coming in for the Aggies. LSU within 2. Lefty has entered the game in a crucial spot for the Aggies. Here is Emily Kennedy with 2 in scoring position, and LSU within 2.
And I like bringing her in. I may have potentially brought her in and not brought Lessentine back into the ballgame. I might have just brought Emily Kennedy. Obviously, game 1, you saw her get roughed up a little bit, but I will say she stuck it out. She continued to stay out there and hammer through and go about her business, and those are some big-time learning moments. You figure it out, the uncomfortable parts of it, and now some pressure with runners on second and third, none down.
There's Mackenzie Rudity. Kennedy, the 4th different pitcher through 5 innings for A&M. Remember, through the first 2 innings, they had given up a single, and that's all. No walks, nothing. A different story over the last 3.
And they mentioned on the broadcast that, you know, yesterday Coach Trish Ford said when she's 70 and below, we're able to get her pitches spinning exactly at the rate we need to. And when I was watching yesterday's game, specifically in the second inning, I mean, I saw her actually gas it up to 74, 75 miles an hour, right? And I think sometimes that really is the biggest learning part about pitching, right? When you're amped and the heart's pumping, and sometimes we try to overthrow, but it's remembering quality over quantity. Can I throw quality pitches and spin? Do I understand how to deal with like the pressure that I may feel?
She did throw 140 pitches, 146 pitches last night. But if her stats are any indication, the more often she pitches, the better she throws. This year hasn't thrown quite as much. Numbers a little bit off at times. Just used to being a workhorse for them in the circle. Trying to come up big here in a relief situation.
And I think when she throws it at 72, 73 miles an hour, it makes it harder for her to get that true spin rate on the upper part of the zone. And when she can go up to curve to change, she's fierce.
Crowd up in arms over that one. Full count on the way. Just a huge pitch right now. Called strike 3, got her.
I'm going to say the crowd got that strikeout, Alex. The crowd is on the blue like crazy, and that's when you love that home crowd feel, that have your back.
Savannah Bedell, Eshtay. Tagging and coming home is Jones, and it is a 1-run game, 8-7. LSU has almost come all the way back from trailing by 7. A runner on second, 2 away for Maddox McKee, 0 for 2 so far today. 2 for 3 last night against Kennedy. Slices that one foul. LSU 4 for 9 with runners on. They've only left 2 on base the entire game. This one grabbed by Powell. Nice throw over to first in time to get McKee. Housen hitting .329. 13 RBIs. Corners were creeping in there for LSU. Defensive change, by the way, for the Tigers. As Sierra Daniel taking over at second for Maddox McKee. And there is Daniel. It finds her. Handles that one away. Olivia Olivia Johnson, that catcher spot, kind of been a rotating spot in the lineup throughout the season, even last night. Both catchers saw action, Johnson and Grayson Coleman. It's been Olivia Johnson getting all the playing time so far today. Career RBIs for the transfer from Washington. Grew up a couple hours away from here in Pearland. Be closer to home. Joined the program this year. Trying to come through in the clutch. Instead, it's a swing and a miss.
I just think the way that with Vallejo and how she's been throwing, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Like, she's been doing a good job of continuing to get ahead of these hitters and use her experience. And that's something Coach Bettorina said in the interview. I mean, she led her team to the postseason last year. She's pitched in some really big games and done some huge things, and giving that trust to her and saying, hey, go take this game, keep us in it. We're going to have your back. We're going to get back in it. I think she's done a terrific job.
Headed to foul territory. Hodge leans over to make the grab. Yeah, you talk about Vallejo pitching in big games. Remember, it was just 2 years ago. She was 1 out away from taking McNeese to a super regional, but
Washington.
couldn't hold on exactly. Washington rallied for a huge 7th inning and a 7-6 win.
Sammy Reynolds double, 2 outs. And that forced him to a game 3. I was calling the Florida State regional and was watching at Lonnie Alameda's house.
I knew you'd be watching that.
And blood pressure through the roof like, yes, Trish Ford.
And a quick 1-2-3 inning. What a battle here in game number 2. And look who's back in the contest, back in the series. Coco Woolley, who did not start this game, has made her entrance here in the 6th inning, taking over at short for KK DeMett, who slides over to second, with Harper moving to first.
Good opportunity here for Coco Woolley to come into this game, and it doesn't feel good to not be the starter. It does. It probably hit her maybe a little bit differently, ignited maybe a different type of fire under her.
And we're going to have another fielding change as Harper will head to right field, and Maya Perez will replace Dement over at first. So we're going to go Woolley at short, Dement at second, Perez at first, Harper at right. Other than that, nothing's changed.
Thank God for erasable pens.
We've seen every other change in this game so far, at least in the circle. So Harper usually starts in right. Back to her normal spot. It will be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters. Due up for the Tigers, who are out hitting the Aggies 6-4. But looking to at least tie the game, if not grab the lead here in this inning. And again, trying to avoid having A&M take the series with a win today. And respond after that 12-7 loss yesterday in the series opener. Here is Jaden Leno, 0 for 2 so far today. The sophomore out of Marietta, Georgia. Having a nice second season with the Tigers, batting .358. Has a hit in 7 of her last 8 games coming into today. Trying to stay hot at the plate in this one. Emily Kennedy, the 4th different pitcher we have seen today. After Lessentine started, was replaced by Starks, who was followed up by Munnerlin. Then Lessentine came back in the game, and now it's Kennedy. is a leadoff walk issued to Leno. She reaches for the first time today.
That's not missing by much. Some of those pitches were, but
Comes Avery Hodge, a very good hitter in that 9 spot, reached on an error in the 3rd, singled in the 4th. The crowd getting a little antsy now with the calls as that was ball 1.
kind of feel like I am too.
I see you jumping around over there.
We have to have a little bit more dimension than it being in one spot, and that's the only pitch that gets called strike. You got to be able to have a little bit of wiggle room on a corner and a little bit of up and down.
A 1-2 count now to Hodge. And after that, we're going to go back up to the top of the order. Hodge stays alive, a .363 hitter after coming over from the Sooners, where she won 2 titles and was a significant part of their run late in the Women's College World Series. Trying to come through here in the 6th inning with her new team. Ropes one, and a diving grab made by Dement. The freshman getting it done.
This was a heck of a play just because she was pinched a little bit more up towards second base. Covers some good ground, goes glove side, lays out. This is clutch.
Those defensive changes paying off, at least early. Tricia Ford. Dement started the game at short. Moved over to second to start this inning. Here is Danica Coffey, who has reached twice.
That's the pitch that I don't understand is not getting called.
I see you keep nodding over there like a bobblehead doll.
Well, it's my crowd noise. I'm really hearing the crowd.
A 3-0 count to Coffey. Number 2 in the nation in walks. And there's her 41st of the season. That will slide the tying run over into scoring position.
Well, and the one thing you don't want to do is just kind of put yourself in a position to have to potentially face Tori Edwards, right? With just what she's been able to do. I don't mind starting out an inning with her, but when there's action on the base pass and her understanding of pressure and how to deal with it, I don't want to have to face her.
Best to avoid her if you can. The 0-1 to Lassiter, and it's now an 0-2 count to the junior transfer. Emily Kennedy, top 10 all-time in program history in strikeouts with more than 500. Just miss there. This crowd is about to erupt. Nope. I do not envy being Matt Dial right now.
Me either.
It has gone from 0-2 to a full count.
The one thing we haven't seen Emily Kennedy do a whole lot of is throw her off speed. She's really relied on the curveball and the velo, but hasn't changed speeds a ton.
Called strike 3, out number 2.
This doesn't look any different than the 1-2 pitch that was thrown prior. This is a backdoor curveball on the outside part of the plate. This is just painting corners.
A massive strikeout for Kennedy. 2 away. Macy Bergeron takes strike number 1. She has 2 singles on the day. One brought home a run in the 3rd. Reached in 23 of her last 24 games. One of the best clutch hitters on the team. 19 two-out RBIs. One more hit could possibly tie it. Leno at second, Coffey at first. Bergeron to right field, heading towards the line. Harper is there and makes the grab. And Kennedy and the Aggies get out of a jam. It remains an 8-7 game.